Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for, this is your June bonus reading, or sorry, January. I think I've been saying June all day, now that I think about it, but this is your January bonus reading. You have this Here and Now card and this Serendipity card, which I love. This is the Serendipity card is like a card of being in the right place at the right time, and it's a card of like luck as well. So with the Here and Now card, the Here and Now card literally just says be present. So, both cards play very well with each other. And I think that you kind of could have some moments this month of January, not June, where you are in the right place at the right time. And obviously that would be a good thing. You start with the Ace of Pentacles. But here's the thing, is you also have the Page of Pentacles in the area of your thoughts, which of course we're going to talk about. But the Page of Pentacles, he is kind of looking at that big pentacle that he's holding on to. So, this kind of says to me, and sorry, I didn't pull your other cards here. But this says to me that there could be like a big opportunity that you are either thinking about or that you are examining, right? The Ace of Pentacles is usually an opportunity that has a lot of potential. But I always say that, I think the reason sometimes we hesitate on an Ace of Pentacles opportunity is because it just has potential. Potential means absolutely nothing. Potential is, what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So, again, there could be like a big opportunity that you're thinking about or you're looking at in your life at this time. And it could literally be any type of opportunity, but I would really look deeper. I think you're also ready for this. I mean, you have the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is coming up in the area of your very near future. And so the Seven of Wands sometimes I think can say that you feel like you're not ready. He has on two different shoes, or a shoe and a boot on this card. And the story of this card is that he had to rush out of his house to defend his position at the top of the hill. And he kind of felt like he wasn't ready to defend his position, but really, he was as ready as he's going to be. So I think that there could be a big opportunity, and it's kind of like saying to me that you are as ready as you're going to be. Your crossing energy, which can be what hurts you or helps you in a Celtic cross, is the King of Cups. The King of Cups has very deep emotions, and he needs to trust his emotions, or, he needs to listen to the emotions that he has explored. He is sitting in these choppy waters, but he is perfectly fine. So again, with the Seven of Wands, just putting all this together, sometimes I think the Seven of Wands can say that you are waiting for your circumstances to look a certain way before you take action on an opportunity. But the Seven of Wands really says there will never be a perfect moment. The circumstances, your environment, nothing will ever be perfect for you to take action on an opportunity. So you might as well do it now. I feel like I've said this to you before. And again, these two cards basically say like the time is now for you to take action on an opportunity. In the area of what's on your mind, you have the Page of Pentacles. So again, he is kind of like looking at that big pentacle, which could be the Ace of Pentacles. I think that the kind of like the solution with the Page of Pentacles is education. He is a card of studiousness. So if you are, if there's some sort of opportunity that you're looking at, it might be also a good idea to like really dive into it this month and really learn as much as you can about the ins and outs of whatever it is. You have two sevens here. You have the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles can represent two sevens can represent internal fears that don't exist. And usually the solution to fear is education. Usually we're afraid of things just because we don't know that we shouldn't be afraid of it, right? And so I think that for a lot of you, if you are looking at an opportunity that you're thinking about taking, education or self-education obviously could be a really good idea with the Page of Pentacles energy. I also, I kind of get like a little bit of a weird message here. It's almost like you're waiting for permission to do something, but it's like no one is going to give you permission. And there's like something popping into my head, like that. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. That might make sense to some of you. Like maybe you're thinking in your head like, oh, I'm waiting for a person to say that I should do this or whatever. But I think the reading is like really encouraging you to like take control of the reins. I'm surprised the Chariot isn't here, for example. It's kind of giving me that feeling of like really kind of grabbing onto something and making it happen. And so, I think maybe bravery would be a good idea. In the area of your foundation, you have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, she needs to be brave, bold, assertive. Really, she needs to go for what she wants. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So she kind of follows her joy or her happiness, or, she follows her inspirations as well. She's also my card of learning as she goes, which again, I think this plays very nicely with the reading, because the whole entire reading kind of says that maybe you feel like you're not ready, but you are. And maybe you feel like you're not, maybe you feel like people criticize you for, picking an opportunity or going down a certain path in your life. But the whole point of the Queen of Wands as well is that she needs to not care what people think. She has this black cat right here. And during the times of tarot, black cats were considered unlucky. But the whole point of the cat is that she doesn't care what people think. She just likes a cat. So, I think that could help you as well. I do like that she's showing up in your foundation, because, it kind of says this is the energy you're coming from, your foundation, what's giving you strength. And, so again, it's pretty good, because I think you are kind of in that mode of not really caring what people think and, choosing a path. Next, in the area of the past, this is the energy you are moving past. You have the helping hand card. It says the universe is helping you find something you need that will lead you to your next step, which is kind of what the whole reading is saying. You have this divine infinity card. It says challenge yourself to go beyond your limitations and you will find your infinity. Yes, I think the whole entire reading is saying no limits, Scorpio, or living a life with no limits and really kind of going for something or trying to accomplish something. You have the star here in your past as well. So you could be coming off of a time of healing. It kind of makes sense with that King of Wands, the King of Cups. The King of Cups is sitting in the middle of the ocean. And again, he has explored his emotions to a very deep level. And that is kind of like a form of healing. He has explored his emotions, decided how he feels about this, that, and the other thing. And now he's able to move forward because he understands his emotions. And the star can also kind of say that you have maybe healed or gone through healing, and now you're able to move forward, which is a good thing. I also I always think of the star as a big picture card. We have this bird right here, and the bird is the ibis, or the bird of knowledge and wisdom. And so the bird on the star card kind of represents getting a bird's eye view. It would represent whatever you're working on or whatever opportunity is coming into your life. Look at it from all angles so that you can find the best approach. And that's exactly what I would do with the star card. Is I would be, that's what's popping into my head, is that if you are getting a big opportunity in any area of your life, kind of like looking at the approach, or thinking about your approach, I think would be very beneficial for you, or, looking for the best approach. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this Ponder card and this Nourish card. We have to nourish the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is like a garden. We have to water it, fertilize it, feed it, give it sunlight, all that other stuff, and we have to nurture it into existence. So I think that, making sure that you are nourishing or nurturing the things that you care about is going to be very important for you. The Ponder card is like imagining something or thinking about something. I kind of feel like it's time for you to stop thinking in some ways. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking and learning with the Page of Pentacles showing up here. But at the same time, I think the reading itself is saying, it's time for action, or it's time to take action. You have the Seven of Wands also in the very near future. The Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that when you truly believe deep down inside that something will be successful, that's when you will find true success. So we really have to develop those deep beliefs, and we really have to kind of nurture that belief. We have to believe something, deep down in our DNA, in our soul, that we can accomplish something, and then we will accomplish it. I also think, of course, the Seven of Wands is saying you are much more ready than you realize. So you might be feeling that you are not ready or you are not prepared for something, but I kind of feel like you are much more prepared than you think. As far as like accomplishing something is concerned, it's like you're as ready as you're going to be. And like I said with the King of Cups here, I feel that the King of Cups is saying that it's like your environment is as ready as it's going to be. So if you're like saying like, oh, I'll go do this thing, I'll take advantage of this opportunity when this happens, I would just get started now instead of like waiting for things to be perfect, right? Next in your outcome row, you have this Wombat spirit, says be at home. You also have this Fox spirit, says think on your feet. Yeah, I think it's a great time. We have Pluto in Aquarius, which is very innovative. So I think thinking on your feet or coming up with plans or looking at all the ways you can accomplish something would be a very good idea. I think a lot of you, again, need that be at home card could be talking about being present. I even say that the King of Cups is the card of the home. I have some cards in the tarot that I personally call clue cards, and the King of Cups to me can represent just being at home. So some of you could be being at home, or you could be planning from home, which I also think would be a good idea as well. Next, in your area of the next few months, you have this moon card. You have this think on your feet card, and the moon can definitely represent thinking on your feet. The moon is part of the fool's journey, and the fool, I always say, he gets to the moon and he doesn't necessarily know if he's going in the right direction. The moon is kind of like a challenge from the universe, and the challenge with the moon is that we have to stick to our plans, or we have to stick to a path. Everything about the moon is kind of like about distraction. These two pillars back here, they remind the fool that he needs to see something through to the end. I always think of the fool, or the moon, as saying, like, sometimes we get very close to accomplishing something and then we get distracted by like a shiny object or a different direction, and the moon says, like, is kind of like those two pillars remind the fool to stay on his path and see something through to the end. So whatever you're working towards, I would stick to the plan. And I think it's interesting that this card here, the here and now card, it also has kind of like two pillars in some ways. It says the past, the future, but she needs to stick to whatever her center is, and I definitely feel that in this reading. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Five of Swords. I think there's something going on with all of our relationships. I'm not just talking about love here, but we definitely, it seems to me like we're in a time where people are, kind of looking at relationships that are not serving them any longer and are choosing to walk away from those relationships, or are choosing to eliminate people who cause problems or who are energy vampires and things like that. So this just seems like a collective energy that everyone is going through right now, like sifting and sorting and deciding, these people want the best for me, these people don't. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people are just kind of dealing with that. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Temperance card. I feel pretty good about the Temperance card. The Temperance card is a card of alchemy, and the Temperance card says that you can turn a negative into a positive. You can also turn a positive into a negative. Obviously, I would turn the negative into a positive, but the Temperance card, I kind of feel, is saying that you feel that you are more in control of your life, and maybe you feel more in control of being able to turn negatives into positives. So again, that would be a good thing. Your outcome here is the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He is asking himself, was it worth it for me to grow these Seven Pentacles? Or is there something different or better that I could be doing with my time? And so I think a lot of you are kind of like looking at the work that you're doing and you're saying, is it worth it or not? And the Seven of Pentacles can just represent analysis, or it can represent a change in direction. And so I think that there is probably some sort of change that you're going to be making in work or in what you work on. Even if you're retired, you could still be working on yourself or your health or something like that, and you could be making those changes. With the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Cups, you have the Death card, which is you showing up here. So whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength and really allows you to get what you want from the reading. So I like when people show up as the major arcana versions of themselves. It says that they're more in control. All three water signs had something where, the readings were really kind of saying to me control for water signs. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because water signs are like taking control of their lives on a deeper level. And, and not living, out of control, right? And so I kind of think this is a good thing, of course. The other thing I'll say about this card is that the two pillars from the moon show up right here, and the sun is coming up between those two pillars. So we actually do see a lot of clarity coming in this reading as well. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, definitely time for action. Three of Wands says, what are you waiting for? He has an opportunity in front of him, these boats on this ocean, and so he has an opportunity to go on an adventure, and he just needs to get on those boats and go on the adventure. So, I think the two sevens, the Ace of Pentacles, there's like an opportunity in front of you, and I would accept the opportunity. It looks like a growth opportunity because of the Seven of Pentacles. Usually, if we make a change, with the Seven of Pentacles, we are growing in some way. So I think that there's definitely like an expansive opportunity that you are looking at. With the Queen of Wands, you have the World, which is really good, and especially as a foundational card, this is a card of accomplishment, and it would say that you are feeling accomplished, or you are feeling like you can accomplish something in the world. And I think a lot of you, if you kind of decide to start a journey and kind of learn as you go, like I said with the Queen of Wands, that's where this accomplishment will come from. We've also seen a lot of movement in your readings in the past, Scorpio, and you have this Be at Home card, you have the King of Cups, which to me sometimes can be a card of the home. So some of you might be moving, or you might be planning a move in the future. With the Star, you have the Hermit. Yeah, the Hermit has the star inside of his lantern here. And sometimes I feel that the Hermit is about needing to shine that star out all over the place, needing to kind of reveal your inner truth, or needing to shine bright. And it's coming up in the past with the Star. So I'm wondering if you are like no longer holding back. I kind of get that energy, even with the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords, sometimes it's like we might not have a toxic connection with a person. And I'm not just talking about love, I'm talking about everything. But I do think we all have those people in our life where we hold back. But then, it's like, why? Why do we hold back? Why do we dim our light for those people, right? And so I kind of get this energy here where it's like you are deciding to shine. You're deciding, you know what? I'm not going to, if someone doesn't like me because I shine my light, I'm not going to let that affect me, and I think that's what you're saying to yourself. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Six of Swords. Definitely improvements, which is good. You could be committed to improvements. The Seven of Wands even, can really be a card of commitment. Like I said, it's a card of conviction, which is very similar to commitment. He is just making a decision and sticking with it, which is commitment. And so I think you are committed to kind of like improving your life at this time. And you could be, with the Queen of Wands, you really could be feeling a lot more motivated to create those positive changes. With the Moon, you have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is the truth, and the Moon is not the truth. So some of you could be revealing a truth, or you could be just more kind of like drowning out the noise. I think sometimes the Ace of Swords is about cutting through to the truth, and the Moon would be all these illusions that exist in life, and the Ace of Swords could just say, well, you're deciding that you are going to be focused on the truth, and you're not going to allow the illusions to get in the way. So again, we see great clarity in this reading. With the Five of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. And so I think a lot of you are very focused on new beginnings in your connections. You could also be more kind of like focused on inspired connections with in this area of the reading, since it represents your closest relationships. The Ace of Wands would be really focusing on people who kind of like support your ideas, not the people who hate on your ideas. And, again, I think you could be more focused on that. You could also be focused on more creative connections as well, like meaning that the people that you surround yourself with are maybe have better creative ideas, or creative ways of doing things, and that could help inspire you to take action on whatever you're taking action on. With the Temperance card, you have the Justice card. Again, pretty good. I think you're taking a more balanced approach to life. The Justice card is a card of being in a neutral position, meaning that you're not looking at things as good or bad. You're just looking at things as they are, and you could be creating balance because of that. Both cards, Temperance and Justice, represent creating more balance, or balancing the energies out. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Three of Cups, which is a celebration and happiness. There are also people on this card, so you could be focusing there on creating connections with people who, celebrate your successes or who lift you up. And I think, obviously, that is a good idea. You have this Flag card. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. Yes, in some ways, I think this is saying, the reading's about expansion. So on one hand, it's saying be present. On the other hand, it's saying don't stay where you are. But I think the two can be true at the same time. So, I think that it is saying, like, be present, live in the moment, but also, embrace those expansive opportunities. You have this Arrow card. It says you're on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. We see a good amount of focus here. Ace of Swords especially. Ace of Swords is laser-like focus, picking one thing, making it happen. The Star is about having a North Star or a guiding light, that one thing that you focus on. And focus is also something that's come up for all the water signs. So, clearly it's important for water signs to keep focused. You can't make this up. You have the scales card. It says keep your life in balance. We see a ton of balance in this reading. So, again, I think that, taking that neutral perspective, the here and now card, she is sitting in a neutral position. The justice card sitting in a neutral position. And so I think kind of just maintaining that neutral space is going to be important for you. You have this parrot. It says someone will gossip about you and all your secrets. Mars retrograde. This card comes up like crazy for everyone during Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde brings out the gossipers, the haters, the trolls, and the best thing you can do is ignore it, plain and simple. You have this caterpillar. It says things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So clearly there is, the whole reading is about a change of direction or some sort of change. So definitely a change. But this looks pretty good here, Scorpio. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.